After 60, do your legs feel weaker, shakier, or simply not like they used to? You're not imagining it, and no, it's not just aging. Millions of seniors silently suffer from declining leg strength without ever realizing the hidden causes behind it. Left unchecked, it can steal your independence, your balance, even your joy. But the good news is, with just a few small changes starting today, you can regain control, feel stronger, and move with confidence again. This story reveals 5 surprising reasons your legs are getting weaker, and exactly what you can do about each one. Which one do you think is affecting you the most? Let us know in the comments. No pressure, just share your thoughts.
Welcome to Stories True Health, where real stories meet real science. Guided by Dr. True, we uncover the hidden truths behind aging healing and the choices that shape our future.
In a quiet corner of Ohio, nestled between aging maples and time-worn porches, works Dr. Harold Wexler. 68 years old, white coat slightly faded at the cuffs, but eyes sharp as ever. For over 4 decades, he has been the steady hand for thousands of seniors trying to navigate the maze of aging bodies. Patients come to him, limping, stumbling, or quietly worried that their legs no longer feel like their own. To the untrained eye, it might seem like nothing more than the natural toll of aging, but Dr. Wexler knows better. Weak legs are not a normal part of aging. He tells his patients they're a signal, one we can't afford to ignore. The legs, he explains, are a mirror to systemic health. When they begin to falter, it often reflects deeper issues, circulation problems, muscle deterioration, nerve damage, spinal misalignment, or even something as simple as a nutritional deficiency. Think of your legs not just as limbs, he says, but as messengers. And science agrees. A landmark study from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that lower limb weakness in older adults was one of the strongest predictors of future disability falls and even hospitalization. Volume 64, Issue 5, 2016. According to the study, seniors who struggled with basic leg strength were 3 times more likely to lose their independence within 2 years. Dr. Wexler recalls Robert, a 72-year-old retired schoolteacher who came in after falling twice in 1 week. "I thought my knees were just tired," Robert admitted, "but it felt like my legs didn't belong to me anymore." There was also Margaret, once a night shift nurse, now 67, who confessed that her legs cramped and stiffened every time she stood at the sink. "It's like they betray me," she said quietly. These weren't isolated cases, they were the beginning of a pattern. And patterns for a seasoned doctor like Wexler always lead somewhere. It's not about treating aging, it's about understanding the hidden layers underneath. As he began mapping out the common threads among his patients, a truth emerged. Many of them were silently losing muscle, blood flow, nerve, sensitivity, and key nutrients long before symptoms became visible. The tragedy wasn't just in the weakness itself, but in how many assumed it was irreversible. If we catch it early, Wexler insists we can reverse more than people realize. With that in mind, he began to organize his findings into a framework of 5 core reasons why legs weaken after 60, and more, importantly, how each one can be addressed. But first he starts where decline often begins: muscle loss. Because when your own body starts shrinking from within, even the strongest will can falter. And that's where Chapter 2 begins. The story of muscle loss, sarcopenia. When Robert returned to Dr. Wexler's clinic for a follow-up, his gait was slower than before, his pants sagging slightly over thinner thighs. He laughed it off. "Just age catching up to me?" But Wexler didn't smile. "It's not age," he said, "it's sarcopenia." The term sounded foreign to Robert, but it's a reality for millions. Sarcopenia is the progressive loss of muscle mass and strength that begins subtly in our 30s and accelerates sharply after 60. According to a 2014 review published in Age and Aging by the Oxford University Press, adults can lose 3 to 8% of their muscle mass per decade, and after 60, the decline becomes even more pronounced. It's not just about getting weaker, it's about losing the very tissue that powers your movement, stabilizes your joints, and supports your balance. For someone like Robert, who used to teach history with a booming voice and lively chalkboard steps, it felt like watching the volume of life slowly turn down. The symptoms are often subtle. Legs feel heavier, stairs seem steeper, and chairs harder to rise from. Many chalk it up to aging, but it's muscle loss, and it's preventable. Dr. Wexler explained that without intentional resistance, training, and proper protein intake, the body simply stops maintaining its muscle reserves. It's a use it or lose it reality. The good news, he told Robert, is you can rebuild. Wexler introduced him to a simple routine: sit-to-stand chair, squats, calf raises while brushing teeth, and leg lifts during commercial breaks. These weren't gym exercises, they were survival tools. Alongside movement came protein lean meats. Fish, Greek yogurt, and beans became staples in Robert's kitchen. He also began supplementing with vitamin D, after blood tests showed a deficiency, something common in older adults and linked with impaired muscle function. Within 3 months, Robert didn't just walk, he strode. "I still creak," he joked, "but now I feel like I belong to my body again." The transformation was not miraculous, but it was consistent and grounded in science. Another key study from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, Vol. 98, Issue 12, 2013, confirmed that older adults who engaged in resistance training and consumed adequate protein experienced significant gains in muscle mass and strength. Dr. Wexler began to share Robert's story with other patients, especially those who believed it was too late to recover. It never was. Yet not all weakness stems from the muscles themselves. Some comes from deeper within, from the bloodstream, from the silent narrowing of pathways that nourish our legs. And that's where Margaret's story begins. In Chapter 3, Margaret's journey through circulation loss. Margaret stood at her kitchen sink, staring out at the morning mist beyond her window, when the ache began deep in her calves, like someone slowly wringing out her muscles. By the time she shuffled to her chair, her legs felt heavy, tingling almost alien. When she told Dr. Wexler, he listened without interrupting. Then he gently asked, "Do your legs cramp when you walk, but feel better when you rest?" She nodded. "That's not just fatigue," he said. "It could be peripheral artery disease. Known as PAD, this condition occurs when fatty deposits build up in the arteries, restricting blood flow to the limbs, particularly the legs," according to a report by the American Heart Association in Circulation. Research Vol. 116, 2015 PAD affects over 8.5 million Americans, with prevalence increasing significantly after age 60. Yet many go undiagnosed, mistaking early symptoms for normal aging. For Margaret, a retired nurse who once spent 12-hour shifts on her feet, the slow betrayal of her legs felt like a personal insult. "I've helped so many people walk," she whispered, "and now I'm the one who can't keep up." Dr. Wexler ordered an ankle brachial index test, a simple procedure comparing blood pressure in the ankle and arm, and confirmed mild PAD. He explained that poor circulation meant her leg muscles weren't getting the oxygen-rich blood they needed, especially during exertion. "Imagine trying to breathe through a straw," he said. "Now imagine your legs doing the same." But there was hope. Margaret began a walking program, 10 minutes in the morning, gradually increasing by 5 minutes each week. Though the pain returned at first, she learned to pause, rest, then continue. This process, called graded walking, helps build new blood vessels around blocked ones, a phenomenon called collateral circulation. She also reduced her salt intake, added omega-3 rich foods like salmon, and started wearing compression socks to support venous return. Most critically, she stayed hydrated and kept her legs elevated at night. Within 2 months, she could walk around the block without stopping. "I danced at my granddaughter's birthday," she beamed during her next checkup. "Nothing fancy, but my legs remembered." Dr. Wexler smiled, knowing that behind her triumph was not just determination, but biology working in her favor. He often reminded his patients that circulation is the quiet river beneath their strength. When it slows, everything falters. But Margaret's recovery proved that even sluggish rivers can flow again with care. Still, while blood nourishes the legs, sensation depends on another system entirely, one just as vital and often just as silent until it fails. And so, the next chapter turns to a condition that creeps in without warning, one that robs legs of feeling long before it robs them of strength. Coming next in Chapter 4, the silent strain of nerve damage. Eugene hadn't felt the carpet under his feet in months. "It's like walking on pillows filled with static," he told Dr. Wexler, his voice tinged with frustration. At 73, Eugene was a retired electrician who had once scaled ladders and wired complex systems. Now, he found himself stumbling across flat floors. What Eugene was experiencing was peripheral neuropathy, a condition where the nerves outside the brain and spinal cord become damaged, disrupting communication between the body and the brain. It often starts subtly tingling in the toes, a numb patch here or there, a strange burning feeling after a short walk. But over time, it steals stability and balance. Dr. Wexler explained that one of the most common causes of peripheral neuropathy in older adults is type 2 diabetes. Chronic high blood sugar can slowly erode the delicate lining of the nerves, especially those in the extremities. A study published in the Lancet Neurology Vol. 9 issue 12/2010 revealed that over 50% of diabetics over age 60 exhibit some form of peripheral nerve damage even if they don't report symptoms right away. Eugene nodded. He'd been diagnosed with diabetes over a decade ago, but had always considered it mild. What he didn't realize was that his slightly elevated blood sugar was silently compromising the nerve endings in his legs. Vitamin B12 deficiency was another factor Dr. Wexler checked for. Since older adults often have reduced absorption due to medications or age-related changes in digestion, blood work confirmed that Eugene's B12 levels were borderline low, a silent partner in the decline of his nerve health. Together, they crafted a plan. Eugene started monitoring his blood sugar more carefully and incorporated a diet rich in B12, eggs, lean meats, and leafy greens. He cut down on alcohol, which can worsen neuropathy by further damaging nerves. Most importantly, he began a series of balance-focused exercises, heel-to-toe walking ankle rotations and leg lifts while holding a sturdy chair. These small movements retrained his brain to respond to subtle sensory cues from his legs. And every evening, he soaked his feet in warm water, infused with Epsom salt, letting the warmth coax blood flow and soothe the tense tingling. Within a few weeks, Eugene wasn't sprinting, but he was walking with confidence. "I know when my feet hit the ground again," he smiled. For Dr. Wexler, Eugene's recovery was a reminder that nerve damage doesn't have to end in wheelchairs or falls. With awareness, nutrition, and movement, the nerves can be supported, sometimes even healed. But not all weakness is caused by nerves muscles or blood flow. Some comes from within, from imbalances so small they hide in your bloodstream, yet powerful enough to send your legs buckling. Next, in Chapter 5. When minerals decide your balance. At 6:15 every morning, Margaret's alarm didn't wake her. The cramp in her calf did, a sharp, sudden seizing of the muscle that left her breathless and gripping the edge of her bed. "It's like lightning down my leg," she told Dr. Wexler. These weren't just random cramps. They were her body's distress signal, triggered by something surprisingly simple, a mineral imbalance. Minerals like potassium and magnesium are critical for muscle function, nerve communication, and even heart rhythm. When these minerals fall out of balance, the body suffers, especially the legs. Dr. Wexler explained that potassium helps muscles contract smoothly, while magnesium supports nerve transmission and prevents excessive muscle tension. Without enough of them, the legs cramp, tremble, or feel unsteady. A comprehensive study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, VOLMA, 90 issue 4/2009 showed that nearly 48% of older adults have magnesium intake below recommended levels, and low magnesium has been linked to increased risk of muscle weakness and impaired balance in seniors. Diuretics. Poor diet and even mild dehydration can quietly drain these minerals from the body. Margaret had recently been prescribed a water pill for high blood pressure, helpful for her heart, but it flushed out magnesium and potassium at the same time. Dr. Wexler encouraged her to take 3 quick steps. First, increase dietary sources of potassium by eating bananas, oranges, spinach, sweet potatoes, and avocados. Second, include magnesium-rich foods like almonds, whole grains, black beans, and dark chocolate. And third, hydrate well at least 8 cups of water, daily more, if using medications that increase urination. As a nighttime remedy, he recommended an Epsom salt bath twice a week. The magnesium absorbed through the skin helps relax tense muscles and improve sleep. Within days, Margaret's morning cramps lessened. Within weeks, they were gone. She also noticed something else. Her legs no longer felt shaky when she stood up quickly. "I didn't realize water and a few almonds could change so much," she laughed. Dr. Wexler reminded her, and all his patients, that strength isn't just built by exercise, but maintained by what flows through your body every hour of the day. Nutrients may be invisible, but their effects are powerful. By restoring balance to the smallest components of her health, Margaret reclaimed control over her steps. In his years of practice, Dr. Wexler had learned one truth above all. When you listen to your legs, you listen to your life. And though aging can never be reversed, decline can always be delayed. That's the quiet miracle of paying attention early. Because when your body whispers and you listen, you move forward, even after 60. In the final reflections, we bring together everything learned and the hope that comes when we walk with knowledge, not fear. The real strength after 60 is not found in lifting heavy weights, but in lifting ourselves each day with small choices, whether it's a morning walk, a handful of almonds, or simply standing tall at the sink. So why not try one thing from today's story and see what changes for you tomorrow? And if this message spoke to you, share it with someone you care about. Leave us a comment below, telling us which of the 5 reasons surprised you the most. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that help your body and heart stay strong.